Hey, welcome back to the Colts Corral. I'm your host, Brian Bibey, and today we're joined by Head Coach Nick Mayle to recap the Colts' dominant 69-7 win over Clay County Panthers in the quarterfinals this past Friday night at George Beyer Field, and to really to preview this Saturday's semifinal showdown against the Bluefield Beavers in Bluefield, West Virginia on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Hey, Coach, congrats again on the Clay County win. Huge win. Um, Talk to me about what stood out the most in that 69-7 victory for you guys and really the program in general.
Well, probably what stood out the most was your play-by-play that I listened to the next day. I'm glad you're okay and didn't have a stroke or anything, so I'm glad you made it through. It was pretty awesome.
Appreciate
No,
that.
yeah, I mean, I've been coaching, 23, 24 years, and you hear about games where everything goes your way and the ball bounces your way, and that was one of those games that probably never happened again because the ball literally bounced our way. It was like it had magnets in it, and we had magnets in us, and we there were some fumbles and we didn't even have to get on the ground to pick them up. They bounced into our hands. So it was just wild stuff happened, and the team came out ready to play. Our pregame talk. I talked about playing with purpose. And everything they've been through, there's a purpose that's got us to this point. And it was they came out, played inspired football, and executed, did a real good job, and then just things just kept rolling for us. So, defensively, we worried about everybody's worried about high-powered play offense, and so the defense was ready for the challenge, and then offensively, we just executed the game plan and controlled the game up front, did everything we needed to do to put ourselves in a position to win.
Coach, it was impressive. And let's before I get into this, you're right. I have never, and I've said this to other people, I have never been a part of a ball game, whether as a fan, as a player, as a radio person. Every bounce of the ball went the Colts' way. We're long overdue for that. Let me make sure I say that because it's always went against us. But you're right, man. I think that's what I was so when I was calling that game. I was so like just taken aback by how everything was falling in place for the Colts. And the thing was, it was happening play after play after play. You know,
Yeah.
I hope it happens again in Bluefield. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we didn't lose all that mojo up. That was pretty good mojo we had going on.
that's what I said. I said, don't use it all up. I told Jeff, let's not use it all up tonight.
Yeah.
But it's just going back to what you stated. I mean, this was a very very high powered offense there with Clay County. I mean, you held a quarterback that's thrown for over 2,500 yards, 25 touchdowns. You guys held him. He held him to eight for 27 for 75 yards. That's what we had for a stat line, and I'm telling you, man, that's pretty darn impressive. And again, our player of the game was the defense. Our Performance Chevrolet player of the game was the defense. They did the job, and it was everybody. And I'm just very proud of them, And like you said, I just wanted to give a shout out to those guys. And they held the Panthers to 25 carries for 50 yards, basically in the touchdown. So I know you'll take that all day long.
Yeah, I was real happy with their effort and had a good defensive game plan. Coach Halterman and the guys came up with, and then the boys went out there and executed it, and did a great job.
On the offensive side of the ball, what did you think they did to execute so efficiently throughout the ball game?
Well, I think it all started up front, with blocking. We're able to run the ball efficiently. So if you can do that, you're setting yourself up for success. And then, if you're running the ball well, then teams got to have an answer for that. So usually the answer is to bring more guys down in the box. And when that happens, then, we got outside receivers like Malachi Poling and Pat Webster and them to be able to haul it in. Kent Rowan may had a pretty good catch there on the sideline too from his tight end position. And so, we just had to cause problems that they had to try to solve. And then once they solved that, then we give them another problem. So, that's kind of the name of the game on offense.
Well, and again, I want to say something about those young guys, man. Again, the guys that we've heard their name a time or two. It's consistency now. Kent Rowans of the world, Parker Harrods of the world, Tristan Price of the world. Now those guys are making plays routinely, you know, and that
Yeah,
just
and I think everybody forgets that Robbie Jones just a sophomore too.
We
So
do.
we got some young cats. Yeah, we got some young cats that are playing, and that's where we want to be at as a program. We have a talented, great senior class, but when you look at the program long term, you don't want to just have a good team. You want to make sure that your young guys are getting developed and getting time and being able to play, and set your program up for long term consistency, like you said. You don't just have an off year or whatever. You're not looking to rebuild after a good year. You're just trying to reload.
Yeah, I think you brought up a great point. I mean, I take Robbie for granted, to be honest with you. I mean, he was doing that
Yeah.
last year, and he's just going to continue to get better and better as well with the rest of the guys. So, shout out to him, Coach. From a defensive game plan standpoint, I know you said Coach Haldeman did an outstanding job of implementing that and really playing to that. Obviously, the players responded very well to that. Were there any? I mean, one thing that I noticed, even if they did complete a pass, the secondary was making great plays attacking the ball while the wide receiver turned into a runner, stripping the ball out. I don't know how many times that happened. You've guys forced 7 turnovers. I think 6 fumbles and an interception. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to switch coverages up and move guys around and kind of keep them on their heels. I mean, a team that's an air raid offense like that, they're trying to expose, like when you're in some type of zone, they're trying to expose the soft spots of your zone, and then if you keep changing that up, it doesn't allow them to get into a rhythm of play calling wise and all that. Uh, so then they have to be able to run the ball too. So them guys in the box kind of took care of that. And then, we had concern about being able to get to their quarterback because he was lining up 7 yards deep, taking the shotgun snap, and just being able to get there is kind of difficult. But when you take away those initial reads, now you have to hesitate, which gives you a little bit more time to get there. So then we were able to get home a few times too. So, yeah, we've been preaching since before the season started about a relentless pursuit to the football. And that even with the balls in the air, and if there's a catch made or whatever, I mean, everybody's relentlessly pursuing to get there and make a tackle, make a play, and then when you're running towards the ball and crazy thing happened, like getting it stripped, and like at one play we had the double fumble there where Robbie stripped a guy, and then Parker Harrod picked it up and pulled 6 or 7 guys down the field, and he fumbles it, and Tyler Vance picks it up and almost scored. I think one guy maybe tripped him up or
Yeah,
something. So when you're around the ball, good things happen.
I was just going to say that. You have to be in position to make those type of plays, right? The ball's going to bounce your way when you're in the right position, and that's just a
Right.
relentless pursuit, time and time again. So, I mean, those are the type of performances that I love to see, and you get rewarded for that by the football gods. Quite honestly. So, last comment about Clay County. Um, any individual performances that you wanted to give a special mention to? I mean, again, pancake guys. I didn't see the awards this week. If you guys have handed them out, I apologize, but I just wonder if you want to give a shout out to anybody.
Yeah, we'll probably do the individual award stuff today.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time getting prepped for this week, so and we don't want to spend too much time looking back. But I don't know who the pancake champ is, but I just know that we blocked really well up front. And not just the O line. I mean, when in that run heavy package, Tyler Vance and Mason Jones are blocking their butts off too,
Yeah.
doing a great job. And then we had a pass there to or a run, I think, to Mason Jones. And Malachi Poling got a twofer there. He blocking downfield and blocked one guy, and then passed him up and ran downfield and blocked the next guy to get Mason into the end zone. So that's just a great individual effort there. With the Malachi's not catching the ball, he's downfield blocking, which is awesome. And then Tyler Vance caused havoc on defense. I saw Owen Johnson in the backfield a lot. And then, Mason Jones and Parker Harrod holding down the middle was a great job on defense. And, Landon ran well, and he was mad that we took him out after his first long run of the second half. But, we were, I think at that time, 56-0. So I thought the game was pretty secure at that point. So we could take him out and rest him a little bit. Just it was a great overall team effort. And, we able to end the night. All of our senior linemen have scored a touchdown on the season, which was a pretty cool thing.
Yes.
Malachi Cross's last offensive play on George Breyer Field was a touchdown. So that's something to, he can look back on when he's an old man and brag about that a little bit. And he was smart. He didn't try to bounce it and run a sweep. So he
I
went
just
straight
gonna
up the gut.
say he went straight ahead. Thank goodness, Malachi. Straight ahead, brother.
That's right. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, a lot of fun to talk about that. And those are memories that last a lifetime, and that game will last a lifetime in my memory. So again, really enjoyed, as you guys could tell. I just had a ball calling the game, man. It's just one of those situations where that may never happen again. If it does, I hope it does. I hope it happens often for us. But
And I hope we're on the good side of it. I don't want to be a part on the other side of it.
that's right. Well, Coach, let's switch gears. Huge game. They've all been huge, but another big game coming up Saturday, 4 o'clock in Bluefield, West Virginia. Philip Barber Colts travel to Bluefield to take on the number 2 seed Bluefield Beavers. That this is a storied program. Let's just be honest about it. They've been around a long time, and they've had a lot of success in football, and quite frankly, in a lot of other sports. But this football program has a legacy to it. What makes them such a tough opponent?
Well, I mean, it starts with their, they got a good group of kids to pull from. They got some athletes on the field, and they're fairly young too. I mean, they got a lot of sophomores and juniors that are on the field starting, and they're just really athletic. So, as far as their coaching, that's kind of what they use to their advantage. They're trying to get the ball in space to their athletes and allow them to, go to work. They have a lot of, I think their quarterback, he's a sophomore. He's got like 2,600 yards passing, but a very small percentage of those passes are over 15 yards. A lot of it is, yards after catch, where the guys are catching screen passes and using their athleticism to get extra yards. And they got some deep threats available to them, but they're just trying to get it out there quick. And so we got to have answers for that and be able to tackle in space and relentlessly pursue to the football to get people on the ground. And then be able to. They got a pretty good running back that's a sophomore also. That he runs hard. He's probably a similar build to what our Landon Carpenter is. Runs kind of the same. And then their blocking scheme is a little bit different than ours, but they're still pulling linemen and trying to kick out your edges and that kind of stuff. So, they present some issues, for our defense to have to rise to the occasion and make plays. And offensively, for us, I think again it's going to come down to controlling the game up front and being able to run the football with the athletes that they have. Them guys play in the secondary too. So, if we're going to pass the ball, we can't let it hang up in the air because one of them guys are going to run underneath of it. So we just got to make sure that we execute and control the pace of the game and play our style of football and, try to keep, predetermine what they can do.
Yeah,
So, we just got to make sure that it's our kind of game and do our job. And I think it's going to come down to, the team that executes the best and has the least mistakes.
yeah. Well, you answered my second question right there because I was going to ask you how do you prepare for a team like that with speed and with experience, and you just hit all those. So I appreciate that. What's going to be the key to success for you guys on the road? First time this year in the playoffs. You're in a high pressure semifinal game. How do you manage that? How do the guys manage that on the players?
Well, I don't think we're feeling the pressure or anything like that. These guys, this group of seniors, like I said before, we talked about, everything that has happened to this point there's been a purpose behind it. So, this group of seniors were, sophomores. We traveled all the way down to Mingo Central. Nobody gave us a chance. Nobody thought we should have been on the field with them. And came away with first playoff victory in school history. So there's, I don't think that there's a thought that we're just going down to, uh, you know, just play the game. We're trying to, handle business and do our job and play to our standards. Again, we don't really look at who we're playing; it's how we're playing. Are we meeting our standards individually? Are we meeting our standards as a position group, as an offensive unit, defensive unit, and special teams unit? If we hit those standards, then it puts you in a good position to be successful. So if we're hitting all of our standards and still come out on the losing end, then they were a better team. I can take getting beat, but not losing.
Yeah, I live by the motto: control the controllables. Right at the end of the day,
Right.
that's something that
Yep.
you can do. You can control the controllables. So I'm with you. If they're better, they're better. As long as we do our
Right.
job, okay, I can live with that. But I'm with you, Coach. Last question: how's the team's mindset? And energy heading into the game. I know you've had it's kind of a weird week, right? You've got Thanksgiving. The guys have been off for school. You got deer season going on. What's the mindset? What's the energy been like, man?
And we've had two great practices. We're going to practice later on this evening. Again, with deer season, you got to respect the holy week there of deer season, and so we've been practicing after last shooting light, and coming in, coming in the evening, and it's been good. Like Monday we had a great defensive session, great defensive practice, and we're getting stuff installed there on offense, and working out a few kinks and adding some wrinkles and things that we need to do to kind of change our tendencies offensively and defensively, and then special teams just shoring that stuff up because a lot of times in a competitive game like we're going to be in, the special teams can make a difference, big difference. So we're just we've had, like I said, a couple great days, and I think the mindset of the team, I don't think we're feeling any pressure. Um, I think that we're just ready to work and go down and see what that work's going to get us paid.
I love it. I love it. Coach, anything you like to add here before we hit the outro?
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's a 3 hour and 45 minute drive from here to Bluefield and Mitchell Stadium. We tried to organize a pep bus and a charter bus, and that didn't work out real well because there wasn't enough interest in that. So I'm hoping that that just means that everybody's got reliable transportation heading down to Mitchell Stadium. I think it seats like 20,000 people, so there'll be plenty of room. We got to show up for the kids. I know that it's Thanksgiving weekend, so that means you might have some cousins and uncles or whatever in town, and bring them with you too. So we just need to everybody show up and support the team, support the boys because they really have worked hard to get to this point. And this isn't like I've saw some other media like basically just go down and get our flowers and go home. Um, and we're not approaching a game like that at all. This is going to be a competitive football game, and we're coming for it.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Coach. Listen, we want to wish you guys the best of luck. You know that, and you'll get them. That's going to put a wrap
Yes,
on
sir.
this semifinal edition of the Colts Corral. Big thanks again to Coach Mayle for always being available and joining me to do this. We greatly appreciate it. Don't miss this action. I'm telling you guys, go support these young men. They've earned that. They've earned that. Go see them this Saturday, 4 o'clock in Bluefield, as the Colts battle for a spot in the Class AA state championship. We've never been able to say that before. They have an opportunity. Go see them, cheer them on, send good vibes. We will be on the air at 3:45 p.m. Saturday, 12:40 a.m. 99.9 FM and 98.9 FM WDNE. We will also be live streamed www.wdnefm.com. And then I would tell you download the WVRC Media app. Go all the way to the bottom, click on that 1240 radio button, and you'll have us loud and clear on your phone, tablet, wherever. So go do that. I'm gonna bring the energy, man. I said the boys bring the energy. I'm gonna bring the energy. It's just that simple.
Here's
So
the best combo you can get. You get down to the game and then get you one of them little earpieces and hook it up so you can listen to Brian and listen to Jeff. Just bringing the heat. It just be the best combination for both worlds. There, you're getting to see it live in action, and you can hear the play-by-play, and everybody can bring the bear out of the mountain together.
amen to that, brother. I appreciate you mashing up some video with the voiceovers of the calls because I don't get to see that, right? And it meant a lot. I appreciate that, and I truly mean it, man. When the boys are bringing energy, I bring it right with them, and I want to continue to do that, tomorrow night. Because regardless, for me, this will be my last time on radio for the boys this year, for this year, this season, this team. When we make it to the championship game, that will I'm sorry, the WVRC media professionals will be out there doing those games. So I want to have a great
Well,
call, guys.
just make sure you guys know where the AED is located before you get settled in.
Yeah, we will be looking for that before we go in the door up there. So
I hear you.
hey guys, seriously, man, good luck and go get them. Hey, Coach, one last thing I just saw on social media. You're having an open practice tomorrow morning, right, for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we're gonna have practice at 9 to 11:15, and everybody's welcome to come and watch. I got some parents that they're bringing some coffee and donuts. I don't know if there'll be enough for everybody, but so you might want to bring your own coffee. But it's gonna be a little cool in the morning, but we want to get practice in before everybody heads home for their Thanksgiving meals and dinner and spend time with their family and everything, and then. So come and check it out. So it's a open practice and kind of see how we do things. And we just it's a pretty cool environment at our practice. Everything's scheduled down minute to minute and organized, and we're having fun at the same time and working hard. So you can come check it out and see what we do to get ready for a game.
I highly recommend too, if you're a parent of a middle schooler or a young person in high school that still has time to play football, and you want to see what this program is about, take the time in the morning to go check this practice out. You will not regret it. Guarantee that. Coach, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good luck. Tell everybody good luck. I'm going to try and make it tomorrow morning. We'll see how it goes, but want to let you guys know. Good luck.
I'll
All right.
save a donut for you, Brian.
I appreciate it, man. Like, subscribe, share this video, support the Colts in their playoff journey. Until next time, go Colts.